Welcome to the first video of 2023, and for this video I'll speak about just my current team and go through a few players, go through the list, and just seeing trends. I'm seeing a few, potential structures we could run. Similar to the last video, just ramble, just general Supercoach talk, but yeah, a bit of new info's come out on a few players, so I'd like to touch on that. But yeah, it should be good. So I hope you've all had a good break. I go back on Tuesday. So I've had 3 weeks off, which has been probably too long, but happy to go back. I think with Supercoach or with the players, we're always looking at, preseason, are they being disciplined off the field and stuff like that. A lot of guys you can count on, like, these mids here, like Bond's gone overseas, Rosie's gone overseas, stuff like that. But for me, it's my preseason is all about the non-Supercoach stuff. So for me, I've taken up running. I'm really enjoying that at the moment. Can't go very far. I haven't really been able to run for almost 3.5 years, so I think I can barely scrape a 2k, but I've just been doing 1 and 1.5ks at the moment. So pretty embarrassing, but it's kind of starting out, but really enjoying running every day. I'm going to try and do that before work. And yeah, just catching up with a few mates, going out for coffee, seeing them over New Year's. I'm 28 now, so it's the meetups of seeing the high school boys, it's getting a bit more scarce as people get old and settle down in houses and stuff like that. So yeah, it's really good to have a break. And I think, yeah, that's pretty much what I've not much been up to, but I've done my 3 weeks off. Didn't really go any holiday destination or anything like that. But yeah, I think we'll just talk about my team at the moment and a few players. Like, I really want to speak about Fife. Fife's a hard one, I think. It's not as simple as he's a lock. And then a few defender rookies. Hopefully they pop up, but I'm not too sure on a lot of them. So yeah, at the moment, defense, the way I see the defense is, scroll to the top here. There are just so many overpriced defenders, and if you can get away with starting less of them, I think the better. So I've got 2 sort of speculative. So I think Nick Dacos, I think we'll speak about him plenty over the preseason, but probably don't need to explain too much, but he's put on a bit of weight, and I think another year in the system, played a bit injured with a sore foot last year. So, and we'll get tagged and still went we got tagged, still went low 90s. So I think he can do 100, but I think Ed Richards is another, basically, we're doing a website at the moment, so that'll launch late in January. I think hopefully like January 20, something like that. And I'm doing write-ups on all mid prices, so I've done it's about 4,000 words, I think, and it's mid prices in each line, so players priced under 90 and above around 210k, whatever the first pick rookie price is. And I was looking more into Ed Richards, and I won't go too in depth, but long story short, Caleb Daniel is training in the midfield group. And Richards took his kick-ins when Daniel was out last year. When Daniel came back in, Richards lost the kick-ins, and Richards was still scoring quite well. I think, yeah, more rebounds for Richards, more kick-ins, hopefully. I thought it was really good. Apparently he's been really strong pre-season. One of the not a standout, but, reading a random training report on Big Footy said he was really good. So the first player named when listing the bests, just something small to keep an eye on. A little bit speculative, going to, kind of risky. Dacos and Richards, kind of risky because you want them to be top 6 in the back half of the year, top 8. A little bit risky, but we'll see how we go. If he gets the roll and kick-ins, I think he'll be fine. So we'll monitor that over the preseason, but yeah, it's more an excuse to not get in. These guys are just so much money, so we'll keep an eye on that. I've got Liam Jones here. He'll be gone as soon as a better option comes up, but he's done probably average 72 over the last 5 years he's played, which is pretty good, but he's 32, so I think that will be lower. So not overly convinced on him, but I think he makes money. He should make at least 90, 100k, I think. He's can intercept. He was pretty close to leading the leagues in intercepts, I think, in 2021 or 2020, I can't remember. So he's one we can look at potentially, but yeah, as soon as a better option comes out, we'll flick him. Hopefully we get some base rookies. But yeah, job security, and a lot of these rookies are going to be sub risks and yeah, job security issues, because there's not a single base rookie defender that is guaranteed a spot right now in the best 22. So can't even see where the I'm zoomed in too much. Can't scroll all the way down. There we go. Yeah, just looking at a lot of names here. I'm not sure. I think we'll worry about it when as the season goes on, but I'd like to have a plan B if they don't turn up. So I think maybe Fahey might play, potentially. Gould, who knows? Maybe Charlie Dean plays. Don't think there's a spot for Constable. I wouldn't pick Chester anyway, but I don't think he's playing round 1. He's still injured. So not too sure. Weddle I was watching highlights of. He looks pretty good. Tall, can intercept. Looks ready-made. Well, pretty well built, so still can put on some size, but he's one to keep an eye on. But I don't know if there's a spot for him at Hawthorn because their defense looks pretty settled to me, but we'll see. They can always, I think they want to play Day, move him into the midfield, so see how that goes. Goda, I like. Yeah, I think he should just get halfback role. His back end of the VFL was a lot better than his first half. So a lot of those draftees last year that missed a lot of football due to COVID in their underage or in their under 18 years, they worked their way into the season. We saw that with Ward and Hobbs and Saligo, and I think Owens was going all right there for a while, but yeah, a bit of a trend last year. So I think if he can get that role, and they have like, I don't know what the hell I think they lack talent in defense, so that's what I would be doing. McKenna's a lock for me, or a lock, I think. So then midfield, so I think these 4 I'm pretty attached to at the moment. Oliver, Bont, McRae, Steele. With Dunkley out, maybe that just means a bit more tackles for McRae. Hopefully no more shenanigans on a wing, but I wouldn't put it past Bevo. But, I think that could offset any potential if he's on a downward trend. So fingers crossed that all goes well, but I don't think he'll decline too much if he does. So yeah, I like these 4. I think there's a bit of value in Bont, McRae, and Steele, and then Oliver. He's priced at 127. I think there's a chance he can hit 130. Just had the broken hand. I think he's still 25, still maybe not even in his physical prime yet. When's physical prime? Like 27, 28, something like that. So for footy, so yeah, I think should go close to 127, give or take a few points. And I think he's the go-to captain. Like, I don't know if I trust Steele with captain just yet. And I think Bont should be pretty reliable, but maybe like him a bit more as a VC. And then rookies, I think, Hopper, Ashcroft, Phillips. I think you just lock him in for now. Hopefully Phillips goes all good, but Hopper and Ashcroft are pretty free. And then the rookies are, hopefully, a few of these guys play. Just Finn McRae, just because I don't think there's a spot for him, though. Needs a big preseason. This should be Zach Taylor, but we'll just put Taylor there. I think Zach Taylor's a good shot to play, but could be a sub-risk. I think Bedendo is... I was watching him last year in the AFL team. Thought he played alright, played forwards. I don't know why he's mid-only, but there we go. And then Bakers should have a wing spot to fill in for Lockie Hunter. So that's that. And then English Marshall, just I think we need a plan B if they name Campbell round 1, because I think it's a reasonable chance. And then forward line, Dunkley, Rosie, Taranto. I think it's unlikely they move. If I had to get rid of one, probably Rosie. Rosie can have a few games where he doesn't score well in Supercoach and well in fantasy, but still I'd like all 3 for sure. And then like Connor McDonald, sort of I wouldn't say a meme pick, but just needs to get CBAs. If Sam Mitchell doesn't like Warple, and Day's got durability issues, but I think they want him in the midfield. But I expect him to be there round 1. But if they don't like Warple in the midfield, if Cooper Stevens doesn't show enough for whatever reason, or they got Ward and Newcomb, someone has to go in there. I think the next one would be probably Connor McDonald. So yeah, if he doesn't get CBAs, just flick him. And then Flanders, I think Flanders is probably the standout mid-pricer in the forward line. I'd prefer him to Fife at the moment, but just because VFL numbers were enormous. 117 average, which is just Brody probably would have been 120 or something like that. So Flanders wouldn't be too far off that, but got a bit of competition. Maybe Hollands gets a bit more mid-time. What do they do with David Swallow? He will only ever be the 4th string mid. So I do like him for 250k. Just needs to cement some midfield minutes. McLean's a lock. And then one thing with the forward rooks is I think we'll get quite a lot of base forward rookies. But as we look through here, a lot of them can't score for shit. So, like, Wanganin, I'm not sure about Voss. I haven't looked into him. Van Roen's key forward, I think 3rd year or something. Won't score much. Connor Stone should play, but kind of will play forward, so medium forward. Sin looks good, but sort of injury prone. Not sure if he's fully fit. Luke Nankervis, I think, will get a shot at some point for the Crows, and he's someone you could probably put on field, hopefully. Fergus Green, I think, plays for Hawthorn, fills in for Gunston, but again, like, VFL forward, I don't know if I want that on the field. Charlie Combin, you can't have that on the field. Chandler, I don't think there's a spot for him. I think he did alright in the VFL. Tom Berry's numbers are inflated in the VFL because he played a bit of mid-time, so I don't think he'll get that at the Gold Coast Suns, but if I did have to field someone and Tom Berry was playing, it'd probably be him at the moment. Francis Evans, I don't know if there's a spot for him. Shannon Neal, I think, plays for Tom Hawkins, who's had surgery, so a lot of these guys I don't want anywhere near the field, so that's why I have McLean at F6 at the moment. So, I mean, maybe foregoing a money maker, but yeah, I don't want to field 50s. I don't think that's good enough. I think the game has just gotten too competitive for that, I think, but maybe we have to, so we'll see. So, yeah, for defense, I guess we'll go through the defense again, but just sort of topics. So what are the dilemmas people are facing? Which one do you start from this list? I like Dawson and Doherty. I think Sicily may be a bit too expensive, but I like him too. Not the biggest Stewart fan, just never plays 22. I think maybe once he has, and suspension risk and all that. So for me, he's a no-go, but he's by far the most common defender I've seen, so I'll bet against it. We'll see how we go. Just go with, just stick to what I believe, and that his durability is not good enough compared to the other players. Which is, I guess it's a bit ironic because Doherty's durability has been pretty awful, but at least Doherty plays out the season, unless he's done his ACL. But if he has a full preseason, but he hasn't had a full preseason for probably 4 or 5 years, but now he actually gets one, so I'll back him in. Mid prices, Bows, VFL numbers aren't that great, but was coming off injury. And your cheap options, well, I wonder if Luke McDonald gets a better role, but still probably not. Daniel maybe moving up the ground, maybe he scores a bit better. Like Young, I don't like Young's durability record. Redmond, too many dudes in Essendon's defense. So I like Richards, so that's my logic behind that. I think Richards has the best role and the least amount of sharing to do. And then midfield, so who do you start out of the big dogs? I think it's just take your pick. It doesn't really matter. You could even start Merritt if you wanted, but Merritt seems to be a upgrade target basically ever since he broke out. In his, I think, 3rd year. Cripps is sort of interesting. Like, I wouldn't pick Cripps. Just there's more bulletproof options than Cripps, put it that way. So, but yeah, Walsh won't play round 1. Hewer and Kennedy coming off major surgery, so more points for Cripps, I guess, but could start really hot again, could do like that preseason game he had, just absolutely tore it up, then tore up a few games early in the season. Could do that again. So he has done 120 in the past, and yeah, should be feeling good, but yeah, just a bit of trust issues with Cripps. And then here's like a no, I don't think you pick anyone from here. Josh Kelly, does he get more CBAs? I think they use Green, Perryman, Cogs mostly, and they probably play Kelly a bit on a wing again, but new coach, so maybe he plays him inside. Who knows? I think the one people are tossing up is Tom Mitchell, LDU, and Perryman. Not Perryman. Tom Green. Probably pick Perryman ahead of Tom Green, which is maybe not the best take. That could age pretty poorly, but like the Tom Green pick doesn't make. I can understand it, but I can't wrap my head around why people want to pick Tom Green for 534k when you can just pay an extra 100 for Bont or McRae. Because with Tom Green, he hasn't proven that he can run out a season really well. He doesn't really play 22 games. He needed a rest last year. I think he played 21, so it's pretty good. But you know, they had to drop his mid time probably to manage him. Slowed down really hard. Year before that, he did a hamstring. So he hasn't really coming into his 4th year. So you know, he should be more seasons this year in 2023 than previous years. Maybe he can run out the year really well, but until I see it, I don't want a problem. But he should do at least probably 103, 104 this year, you would think. So it's not the worst for his price, but I'd see better options, and the competition at the top end mids is just too. It's probably a bit too much, but you know he has the pedigree to match them one day. It's just, is it this year? I'm not sure. But yeah, if you want to pick him, fine. I'd just rather, it's just only 100k. I guess 100k is a lot, but for just a much safer potential captain option as well. But yeah, he could start the season hot, but can he sustain it? Who knows? I think GWS probably lose a fair bit this year. They did last year as well. So LDU is the other one. I think he's a bit. Where is he? I think I'm blind. LDU has a few more preseasons under his belt, and he has a injury game priced into him. So I think LDU can do 107, 108 this year. Again, I'd probably rather pay for Bont or McRae or Deal. So, or even get up to Took if you could. So probably, yeah, I prefer that, but I think he's more likely than Tom Green just because a few more preseasons. He ran out the season well where Tom Green did not. So a little bit more trust with LDU, but that's just how I think. So yeah, Rux is interesting. So like, what's the plan B if so I like English, but what's the plan B if Rowan is named with Campbell? Well, Rowan still did 92 with. He would have played a bit with Ryder earlier in the year. He had a poor preseason. He had a bit of a knee. I think he had a foot niggle that he's had in the past. And he played with Campbell in the last game and just scored horrifically. I think he scored a 60 or something. So could you still pick him and just ride it when he's comes in and out the team? Just depends, I guess, what they do because Max King's out. Maybe they just want to play Sharman, but if Rowan's not named with Campbell in round 1, I'll just pick him. I think the value is too good. Paying for Witt's fixture early for Ruckman isn't as nice as it was last year. But I like Witts because he has everything going for him, except maybe being 30 isn't great and price. Other than that, he's got the sole ruck position. No one's taking points off him. He gets a full preseason this year instead of last year. It's probably an out to Marshall. It's probably Sean Darcy, just because I don't like his durability though, especially in the rocks. So could you go Darcy Cameron? In the mid-price article I've written, I run the numbers on Darcy Cameron, and it's swaying me away. Just when he rucks with Cox in the team and Cox rucks, I don't like it. So I don't think I'll pick him if he's named with Cox, but we'll assess that when we get more info on who's the number 1 ruck or who's going to get enough ruck time. So do they split 50-50 and whatnot? And then like the forwards, so I don't think, so Moore's come out, I think Moore's training with the forwards group and his CBA's dropped pretty bad in the last 2 rounds, so I wouldn't go Moore. But the other two other than these two, are Cornelio and Butters, so I'm a big fan of both. My gut feel, could be wrong, is Butters will out-average Rosie. Rosie's a bit cheaper and a bit more talented, I guess, but Otter's obviously really talented as well. So I don't mind those two, but I guess you don't want to pick too many because DPPs, you know, if they put Angus Brayshaw in the midfield, does that mean Barker starts off half forward more and he could get forward status? Like he might have tracked for it late in the season, but I don't have the data. Max Gorn, Grundy, does one of them get forward status? So, and then it's random stuff like Josh Kelly got forward status 2 years ago. Parker got forward status last year. And yeah, after they got forward status, basically they did not see much of the forward. They barely saw the forward line for the rest of the year. So maybe that happens. Even Sean Darcy, I think, would have been close because Meek was in the team and early last year, and Darcy was struggling a little bit. Just a few niggles that he had to work his way. So he had to work his way into the season from these few niggles. So, I think the one more I want to speak about is Nat 5. So yeah, I did a bit of a write-up on Fife that'll come out pretty soon. For me, I look at it from all perspectives. So you look at CBAs, you look at TOG, and I guess you got to remember as well, last year I think Fife said he was feeling almost as fit as he'd ever been in the preseason, something along those lines, and then it was a disastrous season for him. So at the age, how much mid responsibility does he take? I think Longmuir has already said that, you know, they're going to rotate him off the forward line. So when they need him, they'll. Well, I don't have the quote. I don't have the article in front of me, so I better not misquote. But he said that, you know, he'll play a bit forward. So, which I guess is obvious. So if you look at his numbers in 2021 when he opened the season, I think the first 10 rounds he went 110, but his time on ground was much higher, and CBAs I think were 58%. I want to say, if I remember correctly, something like that, maybe a bit more, because he like popped his shoulder after round 10, I think, but yeah, before that would have been somewhere between 58, 65 from memory. So CBA's probably dropped to maybe 35, 40. I think early in the year, I wouldn't want to put Nat 5 too much in the midfield, but if he looks really good, so seems really motivated, but realistically, if he did 110 in 2021 first 10 rounds, what does he do for the first 5 rounds this year? I think the CBAs here, as I said before, probably 35, 40, but maybe we get a better indication of that in the preseason games. And then the time on ground, I think his time on ground was quite high, like mid-80s. So I think we know Fremantle like to lower the time on ground of their mids. But I guess if I can say forward a bit, but I suspect his time on ground will not be 85. So CBA's dropped by, I don't know, 30%. Time on ground drops by probably, I don't know, 10, 15%. Can't really think too hard about doing maths in my head at the moment. It is almost 1 a.m. But I don't know, what do you chip off the 110? I don't know, maybe he goes low 90s, best case, I think. But he could explode first few rounds, maybe, you know, has a great game, scores 120, but again, like down the pecking order as well in the midfield, which sounds strange because he's Nat 5, but they got guys entering their prime, Brody, Brayshaw, Sarong, and then O'Meara as well, who's probably past his prime, but they kind of have a set midfield, and I really think it's a horrible idea taking Brody out of the midfield rotation too much, because right now he's their best extractor. Maybe 5 if you can get, you know, fully fit, maybe he'll be their best one, but the one you can count on the most at the moment, because his body can hold up, is Brody. So I don't see 100 average from him, and at 310k you probably want, I think 90 will be fine. 90 is okay from that. Even 85 you could probably get away with. So yeah, he can do that. So I think he's a fine pick, but I don't think it'll kill you if you don't pick him at all. But hopefully that doesn't age too well. We'll get a better idea when we watch him play. So yeah, that's just a random video talking about just general thoughts on Supercoach at the moment. So yeah, I think Oliver, Bont, McRae still, I don't see them moving, to be honest. I've played around with not having Oliver in the team, and then I look back at his numbers and I look at the rest of my team and I'm like, I need to go-to captain. So I can't find a way to bring Oliver out the team. And yeah, we'll see how we go with defender premiums. I got 72k here, so the next 2 months, basically, I think just watching mid prices and rookies. I think just making sure our premiums are healthy. That's pretty much all we need to worry about. Apart from maybe Marshall, just gotta watch his role. So, and yeah, I guess Ed Richards is mid prices, so I gotta watch him. So, and that's it from me. I hope you're all doing well. Let me know any thoughts, any questions you might have. I'll get to them. And that's it. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys soon.